Hey everybody, this is Gagug7. Welcome back to more Pokemon Stadium. In this episode, we're going to be taking on the Saffron gym with its gym leader Sabrina. But right before the episode starts, I want to do a quick fail cam. And this is a huge one, to be honest. So, I've always spelled special defense and regular defense in this Let's Play as defense with a C. But in Pokemon, it is actually defense with an S. So, that's a ton of failures on my part. And I might go back one day and count all of them up, but in this episode I just wanted to point it out and not have half an episode of just pointing out failures where they exactly happened. So, in this episode, let's take on the Saffron gym. Now, one more thing about this episode is that it's going to be without any summary, because in this episode I want to have a little bit extra time for the commentary and have it a little bit more lenient, and I actually want to have an episode of under 20 minutes. Let's see if we can do it this time. So, let's choose our Pokemon. Alright, for the electric type Pokemon, I actually want a Pokemon that has a decently high special, and speed is not that much of an important factor, but I think Magneton should be able to do the job. So we also want a normal flying type Pokemon, and the one that I choose for that is going to be Dodrio. He will be able to get the job done. And last up, we want a psychic type Pokemon, or a Pokemon that knows a psychic type move. And the Pokemon I choose for this one are Kadabra, Haunter, Jinx, and Starmie. So now we have 6 Pokemon. And this is going to be the team I use for today. Let's get on to the Saffron City Gym. So let's choose our Pokemon and get right into the commentary. For this battle we want Jinx, we want Starmie, and we want Kadabra. Let's go. Now, the subject that I want to tackle in this episode is going to be a pretty huge one, to be honest, so I'm just going to take a small, interesting chunk out of that huge subject and use that for the commentary of today. And that is going to be how Pokemon in your team and in boxes are stored in the save game data. I personally think that's a quite interesting thing to talk about. Now, the save data itself is absolutely massive and very complicated. I accidentally did Lovely Kiss, but that's not going to matter that much. So it's a difficult subject that not even I can comprehend, so let's just take a small part of that, which is how your Pokemon are stored in the game. So, we're going to just go from the beginning. Every Pokemon in your team is stored in 44 bytes of data. And every Pokemon in your box is stored in 33 bytes of data. And they have a specific structure in which they are stored on the PC and in your team. Okay, so Dugong is a little bit dangerous because it's going to do Skull Bash. Or maybe it's going to go for a KO move this time. Takedown, that's fine too. So, there is a difference in how Pokemon are stored in your team and in the box, and I'm going to go into that difference a little bit later. So, let's get on with how the data is actually structured for the Pokemon in your team. So, the first piece of data is 1 byte reserved for the index number of the Pokemon. The Pokemon index numbers are ordered by which Pokemon was programmed first into the game, and it's actually widely known that Rhydon is the first ever Pokemon to be programmed and therefore has an index number of 1. Okay, Without Jinx, this Dragonair can be a little bit difficult, but for backup we also have Kadabra. So the second piece of data is 2 bytes for the Pokemon's HP. 2 bytes because the Pokemon's HP can be over 255. And then we have 1 byte for the level of Pokemon to display in the box. 1 byte because levels won't go higher than 100 under normal circumstances. And in other cases, when you use things like the Masigno glitch, the level won't go higher than 255. Next up is 1 byte for the Pokemon's first type and another byte for the... Excuse me, I'm actually doing it wrong. Next up is 1 byte reserved for the Pokemon's status condition, like being paralyzed or being poisoned. That is stored into 1 byte. Next up is 1 byte for the first type of Pokemon and then another byte for the second type of Pokemon. 2 bytes because there can be a flying normal type Pokemon such as Dodrio or a water ice type Pokemon such as Lapras. Next is a byte for the Pokemon's catch rate. It can range from 1 to 255. Now there's some extra mechanic behind this, as this byte is actually used to determine which item a Pokemon is holding in the second generation. But I won't go into that right now, that would be a little bit cluttered to talk about. So, this match is over. And we're going to go to the next match, and I'm going to continue the commentary in that. Alright, the second battle. This person has a lot of fire types, and for that we have our Starmie. In case Starmie can't win it on its own, we have Haunter and Kadabra. Alright, let's go. Now let's see its first Pokemon. Charmeleon. That should not be too much of a problem. It does know Slash, which can do quite a bit of damage. So, next up are 4 bytes, and all of those bytes are reserved for index number of each attack of the Pokemon. If a Pokemon does not have 4 attacks yet, because it is low level for example, it just will have an empty value for 1 of those bytes, or 2 of those bytes. Next up are 2 bytes reserved for the original trainer ID to which the Pokemon belongs to. 2 bytes because there should be a lot of possible combinations for the original trainer ID. Now Rapidash is a bit of a difficult one because it knows Horn Drill and Agility, so we are actually faster than it, but it does know Agility, so it can boost to a higher speed than us, and to prevent it being able to KO us with Horn Drill, I want to use some minimizes. It's going to try Horn Drill for some reason, even though it should know that it's a lower speed than us. But just in case, another minimize in case it does Agility, which I haven't seen it done yet. Otherwise it just does Stomp, which won't do that much damage. We should be able to 2-hit KO it, I think. Maybe we'll get a critical hit. Let's see. Now, there's 3 bytes reserved for the current experience points after that. 3 bytes because experience in the game of the Pokemon can run to over 1,000,000. Next up is 2 bytes reserved for the Pokemon's HP EV. 2 bytes are reserved for because it can go up to 65,535. Next up, in order, is 2 bytes reserved for attack EV, 2 for defense EV, 2 for speed, and 2 for special EV. Now, Ponyta should not be that much of a problem. Okay. This battle should be over within this hit or the next. Alright. Next hit then.
What now? There, it's a hit. What a furious battle.
Alright. After this bubble beam, this battle should be over. And then we're going to continue with the commentary.
And it's down. And there goes the battle.
Now, this battle is a little bit tricky, because there's a lot of gimmicks. But for starters, we want Haunter, then Starmie, and then Jinx. Alright, let's go.
Here's the third trainer battle with only the gym leader left after this. What kind of battle can we expect to see?
Now, here's going to be a Haunter Ditto, as they call it. This Haunter should be faster than us, and I don't think we can beat it with our Haunter, so what we're going to do is just use Confuse Ray on it and then switch to Jinx.
Looks like a bad Pokémon choice. Flash up Confuse Ray.
It's confused! So we're going to switch off to Jinx.
Furious battle.
Alright, Jinx turn. Okay, next up, for the commentary,
The trainers changing Pokémon.
2 bytes are reserved for the IV data of your Pokemon. As I've explained in previous episodes before, each stat IV, except for HP, takes up 4 bits, and then HP IV is calculated from the first bit of each stat IV. If you don't really understand what I was saying, maybe go back to a previous episode. Oh, really now? Really now? This should be a 2-hit KO.
Neither one is conceding an inch.
Now, luckily, this team does not quite have the best moveset for all of its Pokemon.
Oh, it's Golbat.
But
Whoa,
as you can see, it uses gimmicks like Confusion and Toxic.
Flow of battle?
Oh, come on now,
Oh,
Jinx.
it's confused. Oh, a horrible freak. Its defense is down.
So, it lowers our defense so that whenever we hit ourselves in Confusion, it does more damage.
It shook off
Luckily, it's no longer confused, and this should be a 1-hit KO if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that's an effective hit.
Unfortunately not. It does Swift. That won't KO us. If it wasn't a critical hit. Oh god.
What will the next Pokémon
Let's see. Starmie should be able to do it.
Oh, it's Starmie. It has to make up for lost ground.
It really does.
How will the type difference affect
So,
the battle?
the next 4 bytes are all reserved for 1 byte, are 1 byte reserved for each Pokemon's move, their PP value,
Which Pokémon
where
is
2 bits are
Starmie?
reserved for the amount of PP ups used, and the remaining 6 bits
Oh,
are used to store the amount of page PP left of the move. Now, this one can be quite a bit dangerous because it knows, let's see, Confuse Ray, Toxic, and Mega Drain. And the Mega Drain is going to do a lot of damage to our Starmie.
It opted to slowly damage the opponent.
well, not that much damage because it is a physical move, but it's still quite dangerous combined with the effects of Toxic and Confusion. Oh wow, critical hit, that was pretty good, Starmie, I'm impressed.
There's only one Pokémon left in reserve. There's nothing left in reserve.
With a Bubble Beam, this battle should be over. A little bit of bad luck, a little bit of good luck. I hope this carries over to the final battle, because that one is quite dangerous. Mostly because we're going to be doing an orthodox strategy in it. Alright, this battle. This is where we want Magneton and Dodrio to shine. We're going to be using Magneton, Jinx, and Dodrio. Let's go. So, I'm a little bit behind on commentary, so I want to speed through it a little bit. The next 2 bites are used to store the Pokemon's maximum HP. 2 bites because the HP of the Pokemon can go over 255, and the next 2 bites are for attack, defense, speed, and special to display in your team. So for this Executor, we want to start off with using Thunder Wave on it, and then switch to Jinx before it can do any more damage on Magneton. Executor is the one you want to watch out for in this battle. So, that is how each Pokemon in your team is stored, only using 44 bytes. And why there is 33 bytes used when storing a Pokemon in the boxes, that is actually quite easy. Why it is to reserve space on the cartridge, and how it is done is because it shaves off the final 11 bytes used to store your Pokemon, because those bytes represent what you see in your team menu, you know, in the summaries. And that is not that important to store, because you can actually calculate that from other parameters of your Pokemon, such as its EVs and IVs, its base stats, like that. Now, Hypno is a little bit dangerous, and that's really all there is to the commentary. That is how Pokemon, their data is stored in the save game data. I hope I properly explained it to you guys. If it's not, maybe I'll do a second episode expanding on some things. But for now, let's continue with this battle. That is all I have for today. Now, Hypno has a pretty high special stat, so it survives quite a bit of ice punches. It also has Hypnosis, which it can use. And then Dream Eater to drain HP from us. Hopefully it does Hypnosis and misses. Ooh, Mega Punch. Alright, Ice Punch. It's like a boxing match. And Jinx is the winner. Nice. Now hopefully its final Pokemon is Alakazam.
Oh, it's Alakazam! The remaining Pokemon count is 3 to 1.
Now, this is Dodrio's time to shine. whenever it sees a psychic or an electric type Pokemon, it uses Dig, because that is going to do the most damage, according to its programming. And that does not affect Dodrio. So it's going to dig up and eat a Tri-Attack in its face.
What's this? Oh, the attack missed! Ah! A savage hit! What a
Now,
furious battle!
it does have Psybeam, but that's not going to KO Dodrio unless it is a critical hit.
What will it do? Severe hit!
There we go. And that is going to be the final attack of this episode.
There, it's a hit! Oh! Is it down and out?
So,
That's it! Stay
that has been the Saffron Gym with its gym leader Sabrina. Saffron Gym Battle clear. Receive the key from Sabrina and open Blaine's Tower. Next time on Pokemon Stadium, we're going to be taking on the Cinnabar Gym with its gym leader Blaine. This has been Gigoke7. See you guys next time.